More than 6 months ago, Jordan Henderson played his last match for Liverpool. And then there was a move to Saudi Arabia, playing for Ettifaq Club. But the Saudi Pro League is not the right place for all veteran stars. Cristiano Ronaldo is completely comfortable here. So are Sadio Mane and Riyad Mahrez. But not Henderson. In a recent interview, Henderson admitted that he could not adapt to football and life in Saudi Arabia, and that was the most important reason leading to his decision to leave Ettifaq after only half a year. Henderson's next destination is Ajax. Many English clubs have a number of teams in the Dutch league as their backyard, so it is not uncommon for English-born players to play in the Eredivisie. But in most cases, these are often young players who are loaned out to hone their talents. Like Mason Mount playing for Vitesse in the 2017-18 season, for example. The story of a famous English player like Henderson drifting to the Dutch tournament can be considered rare. In fact, Henderson's options to play football in Europe after deciding to leave Ettifaq are very limited. Not many English clubs are really interested in Henderson. Rumors related to Juventus were soon dismissed. And Ajax's appearance is like a lifesaver for Henderson. From the outside, Henderson has moved to Ajax, one of the most famous football clubs in the world, where he will receive a salary that is not as high as at Ettifaq, but is top one at this club, €99,000 per week. The distance between Amsterdam and Liverpool, where Henderson has his home, is just over 10 hours by car. But the current Ajax is like Henderson, being in the abyss after the peak years. This is not the Ajax of St. Johann's time, not the Ajax of Seedorf, the Ajax of Ibrahimovic, or even less than the Ajax of Ten Hag and Antony. It can be affirmed that Henderson has just joined the worst, even most chaotic, Ajax team in history. Since Erik Ten Hag left Ajax for Manchester United in the summer of 2022, the winning squad of the Amsterdam club has basically collapsed. The best players are sold at high prices, but the money Ajax collects is not used effectively to build a legacy team. Mohamed Kudus and Edson Alvarez went to West Ham. Jurrien Timber was signed by Arsenal, and Fulham bought Calvin Bassey last summer. Before that, Lisandro Martinez and Antony followed Ten Hag to Manchester. Ryan Gravenberch and Noussair Mazraoui went to Bayern Munich. Andre Onana moved to Inter, now at Man United, and Sebastian Haller was sold to Dortmund. It's true that Ajax is used to selling top talent, and they are also very good at recreating a new winning squad. But that did not happen this season, when their recruitment could be said to be a total failure. Former Arsenal transfer expert Sven Mislintat, hired in April, spent €100 million on new players in the 2023 summer transfer window, only to be sacked in September. The peak of disappointment came at the end of October, when Ajax was destroyed 5-2 by defending champion PSV and fell to the bottom of the Eredivisie rankings. At that stage, Ajax had only one win in 8 matches, and as a result, coach Maurice was fired. In the continental arena, Ajax was eliminated from the Europa League with only one victory in the group that included Brighton, Marseille, and AEK Athens. Next month, they will have a playoff match with Bodo/Glimt to qualify for the Conference League. But the biggest humiliation came in December, when Ajax suffered a 2-3 defeat to 4th-place USV Hercules in the KNVB Cup. This is the first time they lost to an amateur team in this arena. Fabian Nagdsom, from the Ajax Fans Association, said, "This is the worst defeat in Ajax history. It felt like a building fell on me, like I was run over by a bus." However, again, things at Ajax right now are not as bleak as last fall, at least in the national championship. Ajax finished 5th in the Eredivisie, won 6 and drew 2 in the last 8 rounds, and still have a chance to compete for tickets to the European Cup next season. Those were probably the positive aspects when Henderson decided to sign an 18-month contract with Ajax. Another equally important reason is that in theory, Henderson is quite suitable for Ajax's 4-3-3 scheme. This is the system that Henderson has been used to playing since his years at Liverpool, allowing him to play to the right or at the bottom of the midfield. For Ajax, the club wants Henderson because of his top experience. The Dutch team is famous for developing youth teams and assembling teams with top homegrown talent. But in their most successful teams, the one that won the Champions League in 1995 or the one that reached the semi-finals in 2019 under Ten Hag, There has always been at least one experienced leader to guide the young men. Frank Rijkaard fulfilled that role well in 1995, Daily Blind in 2019. Henderson, 33, is having the same expectations. This season, Ajax really haven't had that, especially since the departures of Dusan Tadic and Davy Klaassen, who joined Fenerbahce and Inter respectively in the summer. It must be emphasized that this is an Ajax team with 17 out of 25 first-team players belonging to the U23 age group. The only player who fits the flagship standard is Steven Berghuis, 32 years old. But he clearly cannot compare to former Liverpool captain like Henderson. Would joining Ajax be a good move for Henderson? Playing in the Eredivisie, a European tournament with higher quality than the Saudi Pro League, but of course not comparable to Premier League standards, will help Henderson be more comfortable and show his best qualities. But after all, isn't Ajax the club that Henderson rejected twice last summer, choosing Ettifaq? Henderson skipped Ajax more than half a year ago, and now he rejoins Cruyff Arena in the hope that Ajax will become the salvation of his career? Life is truly unpredictable.